And okay, here we go. There it is. And okay, so welcome to the latest edition of the In the Zone show. At mycitymymusic.com, Palm Alexander, aka the living legend KIL, one L and kill, but kill still kills. Joining me in studio today is Barbara Newby, president of In the Zone Atlanta, and also Will Freeman, co-host of the newest show on the In the Zone Network, at mycitymymusic.com, named
That's Football Show.
Okay, so we're going to get into that in a second. This show is sponsored by Cafe Piazza, located at 1900 Arsenal. You know, we just had one of many meet and greets down at Cafe Piazza at the Benton Parkade. So we had some fun at the event. Providence Tucker came out last week, made the drinks Byron watch with envy. Blue with envy.
Yes, I was.
Blue with envy in Georgia. But made your way to St. Louis. And first off, talk about the event. And now the event is over, the whole process of it.
Well, first off, let me give a shout out. Sorry about that. Let me give a shout out to the World Bird Sanctuary for coming out. Taryn was out there with us. My phone tripping. That process of putting that together was pretty interesting. It was actually very rewarding because we got to kind of put and piece this thing together kind of the way we really wanted to, and it was about networking. That was what this get together was about, and the connections that I made, and there was also connections that were made that maybe wouldn't have happened had we not all gotten together in that spot. So I think that it's going to push this entire thing that we're doing forward. This is a grassroots movement. So, we're chopping away at this. What they say, how to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's what we're doing. We're taking the bites here and there. So.
Now, Will, you was also there at the event. Got a chance to be live on air with My See My Music with Kick It and Company. Now, what was that like? Because again, you have a more expanded role than you had before in the previous lifetime. So, I mean, what was that experience like? Because now it's like you're about to venture off into a brand new thing with this XFL.
That is true, because usually I'm more like the secondary person on the previous shows I've been on, and now I'm a little bit up front, co-hosting with Josh Price on That's Football Show. I'm looking forward to it. Both me and him have some good ideas, and can't wait for that to premiere next Tuesday. And be talking about not just NFL, but XFL definitely here in the St. Louis area. Some college football, depending on the topics, but we also will cover some Mizzou in Illinois. Maybe some Lindenwood, since now they're actually official D1 program in the St. Louis area. And we'll see about high school football, because that just starts this weekend here.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. We made some great connection. Edwin Grider was also there from Zulu Sports. And the In the Zone Network will be working in conjunction with Zulu Sports. Maybe some high school football. We'll definitely be doing some basketball as well. So, looking forward to hearing some high school football talk. And there's some great things circulating around with the In the Zone Network. I'm gonna tell you something. It's nothing like seeing a real raptor in person. It's one thing to watch Nat Geo or watch Discovery, and you see these majestic birds. And it was a male. And listen, it just with birds, sometimes the males are smaller than females.
Right.
But Kaw was great, congenial. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better hog, right, Byron?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, you just to watch the bird, pay attention to everything that was going on, to watch its eyes focus in on something. And then she was, when I was back there quite a bit with her talking, and she was feeding it and watching it nibble gently with that beak. But I tell you what, though, I could see that bee clumping down on something. That's all she wrote, but it was interesting, and I like animals just like you do, and I know just like Will does too, and it's just fascinating to see a wild animal like that up close, and then to hear about what the bird's really about and how they function. I mean, it was a good experience.
And I thought that Taryn had a great experience too. I mean, she would just all smiles and just great energy, and she saw the vision too, because when she was doing the interview and she was talking about Kaw the Hawk, and she was talking about this bird flying inside of the Dome in America Center, and I think that if that bird takes flight at the Dome in America Center, people will lose their minds.
Yes, absolutely. And, we were back there talking, and, we were talking about the tailgates. And I know there's a bunch of different tailgate groups out there, so I'm just going to throw it out there. Hey, connect with us, and let's get called to your tailgate. Now, I can't be like 6 people, but, there's some pretty big tailgate groups. I know Rick's got a couple groups, but, we can definitely get Kaw out there to fly, before the tailgate. I think it's a great connecting thing for all of us. And, like we're going to work with the World Bird Sanctuary to get the bird to fly on game day before the game.
That's the voice of Byron Newby, in the Zone Atlanta, and that's also Will Freeman from That's Football. Boy, I'm telling you something. That show's come along at the right time. Will Freeman, Byron Newby in studio. In the Zone show at mycitymymusic.com, sponsored by Cafe Piazza. Now listen, Will, you've been to Cafe Piazza a couple of times now. You getting used to the surroundings. What you think about this experience too? I mean, this time again, now you got the network logo repping it, but now work with the sponsors. Because I think too, when you're working in the industry and get a chance to work alongside of the sponsor, and that's how you build those relationships long term.
Yeah, that's true. And going to Cafe Piazza a few times, good food, pizza, not just pizza, but also Italian food in general. Not to mention their back room with all the Pinton Arcade, with all sorts of geek and comic book culture stuff, and some UFC fight. I did not realize they actually had the Valowski, the Pitbull action figure sign and all that in a case.
Yeah,
that was actually quite interesting. And then you take a look around, they got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles blimp from the cartoon in the 80s. They also got some pro wrestling figures going all around. I think I saw a Kane versus a Bret Hart type of movie doing a body slam, I think. And then a few others, and it was pretty awesome too. And it's a good place to have a good time. They also have pool tables. They also have darts. Anytime you want to go there, just have fun with friends, drinking and eating, I would definitely go to Cafe Piazza.
All right, that's Will Freeman, a co-host of That's Football, and we'll get back into the Parkade event because it's a few other things we want to touch on, but I want to talk about That's Football and the genesis of that. We've always wanted to have the type of content where, like, when you're talking about football, it's not just some run-of-the-mill conversations that, want to have some real tangible conversations and maybe finding some solutions. And I think, putting Will and Josh together, then adding different guys, to the mix, and that's how those big NFL shows kind of come together. If you look at NFL Live or anything you see on the NFL Network, what makes NFL shows dope is just having the different personalities and having the right guy run a point and run a quarterback. And I think you guys are going to have a really great show.
I believe that too, and can't wait for it. Mostly for just exciting, a little frightening, but also fun.
All right, so let's throw out one thing with the USFL now. you told me before we started recording that there's some lawsuits going on. Tell me about that.
Yeah, there was a lawsuit because a little bit before the season, or about the season to start, there was a kind of a thing because the old USFL owners, that's excluding a few other people, they thought that there was like some trademark infringement on the things due to, because they still thought that they owned the rights. Like they were still having gatherings and stuff, but apparently it looks like maybe those rights considered being abandoned for how much they didn't use that, because if you don't use a trademark for a certain amount of time, it's abandoned. And Fox and Brian Woods got that, and that's how they started after the first few years of Brian Woods doing the Spring League. Then this lawsuit came and just kept on getting delayed. Then the judge kind of ruled like half a little bit, saying like, well, you need to pay some of them or try to sell this. But then now it seems like they both just said like, we're just both going to drop it, and they just going to pay their lawyers by themselves. That's one lawsuit there. Then it's strange with the two new spring leagues with USL and XFL. XFL just got another lawsuit dismissed because together the women's sports, with having Megan Rapinoe, a few WNBA players, thought that because of that together and a similar markers with their logo, they thought they were trademarking on their property, but that got dismissed. I think that happened after the ESPYs because Megan Rapinoe and Danny Garcia were on stage together, and before that they were just attacking The Rock, never mentioning Danny Garcia. I think they realized that they know that a woman was in charge, a chairwoman, if you will. They're like, ooh, this does not fit the message we put out there, because they were just attacking Rock, saying that the men were taking over their work as women athletes. But it looks like we were wrong about this, and they just let it go.
Would it be safe to say they were spiking the football?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. So got that done, and spring football and also other leagues, it's kind of interesting because unfortunately there was one earlier called Major League Football that kind of left some players hanging. They paid for stands, then all of a sudden their hotels were kicking the players out and the coaches because they weren't getting paid. And unfortunately, Frank Murtha said money was coming, never happened, and supposedly they're supposed to try again. And honestly, I don't think they're going to be able to have anyone invest in that league.
That is the voice of Will Freeman. He's co-host of That's Football at MyCityMyMusic.com. Is coming on what nights?
Tuesday nights from 6 to 8, though that could change depending on the timing of some things. And for our first show, we're planning to have a very well-known person known in the football circle, Alter football circle, Mike Mitchell, who is an XFL insider. He also covers the CFL with the Argos with CFL News Hub. Also covers the Jets with the Jets Press for Fansided.com, and very well-rounded and also well-knowledge guy. And he actually said what the cities and the coaches were about 2 to 3 months before the announcement.
Yeah, Mike Mitchell is definitely widely respected in a lot of circles. So he's somebody that I do follow, and he is definitely legit. So that's big. You coming out the box swinging with Mike Mitchell. Now another one of the things that I know you want to get to was the XFL team workouts. What information that you got for us on that?
Well, when I first saw it, I was kind of worried because a little bit before that, there was a scam going on, sending out fake draft invites to the pool to certain players. That got settled out because when it first did, it was saying XFL Las Vegas held a workout in Florida. I was like, could this be legit or not? I actually talked to a few people, then finding out from a few people that it is legit, because there's been a few cases that it looks legitimate, but it's not. But this one is. Teams like XFL Orlando and XFL Las Vegas are having, because after their showcases, they even Doug Whaley, during an agent's call, said that they actually had over 1,000 players on their waiting list. So this is a way till now, before the draft in mid-November, November 16th on a Wednesday, if I remember correctly, to start choosing players that they want to work out. And this is actually a good deal, because the only other showcase that I know of is the special team one that's being held by Nick Novak's company in October.
So with that happening in November, would any NFL practice team players be available to join the XFL, or will they be allowed that?
I think they will be allowed that because right now we're in after the second week of the preseason and there's cuts coming. There was like a big amount, I believe, that's coming in the next day or two. And this happened the same way with the last iteration with the XFL, but their draft was in October, and I'll give the St. Louis team an example. They actually drafted a player a Miami that was a center, but then right after he got drafted, he actually signed with the New England Patriots. They still had his rights, but this way I actually like how the draft is November, because that way they could see, okay, this guy's not in this part here, or this part here, or this part here, and this just gives more time for them to actually get what players. And another thing too is practice squad players, they rotate so many times. It's like one might be on this team practice squad for 1 or 2 weeks, then let go, then 2 weeks later they're signed to a different team practice squad or the same one, because we know how football is a high injury sport and it can happen at any moment. And heck, even I remember, I believe I'll go with Mike Mitchell's Jets, Macaulay Brown, the offensive tackle, he shattered his kneecap and he's out for the season. And one of the hardest positions to actually get more players in right now is linemen, and that's one thing even Anthony Beck said, because linemen, they need to be a little bit more developed, because most teams don't go for the whole 3 down, like hand on the ground anymore. It's mostly just like the spread, quick ops. It's like that are run now with the nowadays like Oregon and that kind of works for the XL with the quicker game clock.
And a lot of teams are going with the RPO option too. Mm-hmm. So no more 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So that in a way that makes a guy like Matt Jones he doesn't fit in anymore, because he's more of a power back. And think about it. In his last incarnation in the XFL, he was an average under 4 yards a carry, which, you get cut in the NFL averaging 3 yards a carry.
Though I would agree, but also we have to remember Matt Jones' also strength was during those screen pass catches. That's one thing that's probably going to be very utilized here, because running backs, they just don't need to run the ball. They need to do pass blocking. They also need to catch the ball, because we all know how great Marshall Faulk was with the Greatest Show on Turf, and he was both running and pass catching running back, which is probably coming back in a ways. Power backs still have their play, if I say it will, depending on what they want for their offense, or it just depends. Like Alabama for college, they're going to run the ball till the cows come home and then throw the pass out of nowhere. So the power back, like Matt Jones, still has a point to play within football.
Yeah, it's just a matter of him just being able to stay healthy. I just think that's one of the things that probably has hampered him and may have kept him from the NFL. That is Will Freeman, and he's co-hosting That's Football. That is Byron Newby sitting across from me. And listen, Byron, you played football before too, and I think the screenplay is one of the most effective ways to get a quarterback in a rhythm. And when the Battlehawks were playing in their first incarnation, that was one of the things I used to harp on a lot, about them using screens, just get a quarterback into a rhythm, getting the offense into a rhythm, because, listen, as a defender, that's the last thing you want to see them, running and throwing the ball and getting you guys on your heels. Yeah,
there was one thing you forgot to mention, is that screen passes slow down that pass rush, because now you got to worry about, okay, they're retreating too much. So do I need to lay back? Can I come hard? So that's a big part of it as well. And pretty much nowadays screens are pretty much long handoffs. If you think about it so the running game isn't what it is. It's kind of evolved, I think, over the last 10 years or so. So just like Will said, that there's a place for the power back, but you need somebody that's versatile. You need that Marshall Faulk. You need the guy who can catch, the guy who can run the ball inside or outside when you need them.
You just made me think about Leonard Fournette in Tampa, power back at LSU. Now he's playing with Tom Brady. He's catching balls out of the backfield.
Right.
Even Derrick Henry is catching balls out of the backfield. And every blue moon you saw Adrian Peterson catch a ball out of the backfield. But when those guys caught a ball out of the backfield, you don't want to tackle them.
No, not all. Especially Derrick Henry. That dude is one big muscle.
Yeah.
All the players are a bit truck stick and all sorts of things trying to tackle him.
Now, on to the new NIL deals that we talked about before we went on air. Tell me a little bit more about these.
Yeah, because we are now in an age where actually the college players actually get money outside sources rather than under the table, if you will, by college boosters and hope not to get in trouble and get penalized by the NCAA. Though, honestly, we'll see in a few years if the NCAA is still around, because there are certain conferences that are trying to come with 20 teams now, including the Big Ten and the SEC, so that's interesting to watch in the next few years. Yeah, because now this is the first time besides seeing a college player on the NCAA game, which, by the way, the college football game does come back next year, and Luther Burden, the wide receiver from East St. Louis that committed, who is a freshman this year at Mizzou, actually will be having his own line of potato chips with his image on it sold at all the Schnuck stores in this area. And then I found out, like, looking around, Dave Manna reported that there were 7 offensive linemen from Mizzou that have a deal with Hooters. Now, that's the good part, but here comes the bad part. Because if anyone doesn't know that last week, I forgot his name, but one of, like, the top players for LSU, their quarterback, he been on a few years, and he was announced not the starter. He decided to retire from football. And here's the thing. He has a lot of NIL deals, including from Raising Cane's, that establishment franchise. He gets to keep all that money. So this is going to start with those NIL deals saying, okay, we can't give you this money unless you actually play a certain amount or something, because that's going to be a chain reaction, because some of those sponsors ain't going to like that. We gave all this money for some guy that just didn't play whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, not that they know that all these years they've been paying under the table. You listen to the In the Zone show at mycitymymusic.com. That's Will Freeman. I'm Palm Alexander, a.k.a. The Living Legend, KIL. One L and kill, but kill still kills. I may have to pay for that one day, I was told. But one L and will, but will still will. You don't have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for that. That's on the house. This show is sponsored by Cafe Piazza, located at 1900 Arsenal. And let me tell you something. They brought pizza in last week. They brought a meat pizza, ultimate meat pizza with all the fixings if you are a carnivore. They brought a 5-cheese pizza. They brought a panini chicken parmesan in. And they made a rockarita. And then they made the new drink called Carrita. And Carrita is about this color. Carrita won't have you thinking about Waukesha. But Carrita is definitely is a winner. First time I hit this, Damaris would be so proud of me on me. So, Byron, you tried the Carrita. What was your thoughts, man?
It is absolutely delicious. The concept of what's in the drink is just it's healthy, it's refreshing, and it's a really good drink. It's going to be a staple over at Cafe Piazza. You guys need to go over there to 1900 Arsenal and check it out. But the drink, the Carrita was on point. The Rockarita, made with the Terramana tequila, that was on point. It bites you a little bit, but it was definitely on point.
It definitely a bite. And listen, it's sometimes those drinks can be a required taste. Just like parties,
right,
or company you keep.
Yep.
Like the company I'm keeping right now on the In the Zone show at mycitymymusic.com. Phone lines open 515-599-1687. NFL season right around the corner. Listen, I've been on the grind, and from high off the glass. Look, brother, I'm definitely gonna drop down on your show, because I know that's long overdue. So, did the Cars and Cannabis. We just been on a marathon, man, running.
Yeah, the Cars and Cannabis was really a cool event. Getting over there and checking out those cars, it was kind of cool, whenever the ladies rode through and they had all the Jeeps and
oh yeah,
that was nice.
It definitely gave me some New Jersey drive type feel to it. One of the sisters almost turned this guy into some roadkill. In the parking lot. I'm like, you better watch out, player. These ladies come to play. They all got the Jeeps at the same time. In uniform. They definitely wasn't taking no shit yesterday. But they needed some happy punch. Some happy punch or happy treats.
Yeah.
Happy punch. they needed something to make them happy, man.
Yeah, there was the tent that was over there making the mixed drinks, and I didn't mess with any of that, but very interesting to watch them shake a drink, right? And there's alcohol in it, but there's cannabis in it too, so that's kind of a two-for-one deal. Yeah, cannabis and infused, drink. And I tell you what, the other cool part was seeing all those nice cars. And listen, St. Louis event in the hood, and it wasn't no drama. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part about it that I love the most, and I'm just looking forward to the next Cars and Cannabis event. I think the next event with the Elite Home Grower should be Halloween in October. I can't freaking wait. I mean, they thanks to Halloween, I'm now a fan of Halloween again. How about that? How about that? Now, don't give me no candy corn. We broke up. Do you eat candy corn? Oh God, no.
You?
Rare.
I did as a kid, but man, I can't even digest that stuff, man. It's amazing once you get a little older how there's certain things you can't eat. Like, I can't eat pizza like that. That cheese it's not right.
Yeah.
And definitely not candy corns. Just absolutely not.
I used to eat candy corn and warm salted peanuts from Woolworth. My aunt used to, but that was when I was 5. That doesn't work anymore. Right. I said, that is disgusting.
I can still do the warm now.
Jelly beans? What about jelly beans and peanuts?
It depends. I eat peanuts, but not not in the combination we would have eaten them in as children.
Peanuts and cherry sours. Odd combination. Odd combinations that work. Don't have a damn thing to do with football, but just a odd combination. Speaking of football, I got a lot of compliments on that jersey. And let me tell you something. That jersey going in the frame.
Oh yeah, because there's another 2023 version that's coming out of that. So
yeah, you hear that? Yes, but that I'm telling you that I got a lot of compliments on that jersey. A lot of people wanted a jersey like that, and yeah, I mean, there's if you think that jersey look crazy, you should have seen my IG story on my birthday. If you playing peekaboo, you was in the peanut gallery, you saw.
Right.
Damn Skippy. We got some new joints coming up. But yeah, man, that jersey got a lot of attention. People like the jersey. Yeah. And that's actually the third football jersey I've ever had in my life. The first one I had was a clutch replica Tampa Bay Buccaneer jersey, 1981. The number 42.
Ricky Bell.
That's who it was?
Yep.
Ricky Bell?
The running back, yep.
Yeah, so I had me and my brother had replica number 42 jerseys on. And it wasn't the Cardinals. They didn't have Big Red. I was disappointed. Al, don't ask me about the Big Red, even though I mentioned them. Don't ask me about the Big Red. I don't want to talk about them today. So they had Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but no Big Red, so you had to take what you can get. Wasn't wearing no funky-ass Cowboys. And I do dislike them. Always liked them, and I always will. That's never going to change. But I had my little Buccaneer jersey. Me and my brother had the number 42, jersey. And then it was Tim Brown jersey. I wore that right before the Raiders got their ass kicked against Tampa. and this jersey. So I know the third time's the charm, and I'm the third, and that jersey's gonna bring us a lot of luck, man.
It's good karma.
Broke it down.
Yeah.
Broke it down.
Yeah, that's good karma. That was, man, that jersey, I always had an idea of what I thought like a Battlehawks jersey should look like. And so, you know, kind of like an alternative jersey kind of thing rather than what they, you know, I thought the uniforms looked good, but that, yeah, with the feathers and the outline of all the numbers and it says the Lou on the front, that actually would be a wonderful jersey for the team to wear on, like, you know, I know 314 is on the Tuesday, but the game leading up to that, Fan Appreciation Day, man, wear the fan jersey.
Speaking of 314, got a new song. We're St. Louis. Big fail. No faking. Will Freeman, best friend now. Best of friends. Well, I expect to hear Will on a remix.
It would be dope.
Maybe more of a evil laugh in the background type of thing, probably, rather than me singing. I
almost like that better. Note to self. Note to self. Note to self. So, listen, that song came out. There's some few things that didn't go the way we originally planned, but nevertheless, the song is out and it's starting to circulate. The song "We're St. Louis," it was your brainchild. As a creator, tell the audience, what is it like to have an idea and then finally see it come to life? Not exactly when you want it to happen, but then when it finally do happen.
All right. Well, the process I use when I have an idea is I have this formula that I've used for years, and it is R equals P plus B. So R is the result. I always look at what the end game is of what I want to do. And then I look at what tools and processes that I have in place that help me do it. And then you get to the B, which is the behavior. So that's the says and do's. And I tell most people that if you solve problems that way, or you solve anything you have an issue with, you tend to get the best possible solution out of it because you are breaking down each piece of it. But, you know, I always look at things pop up whenever they're supposed to and not necessarily when we want them to. So I remember talking to Big Fail, and I said, I kind of want something to kind of represent St. Louis as a whole, you know, making mention of the sports teams, a couple of, attractions, and just, you know, get real creative with it. And he said, who all do you want me to put in it? And I gave him a list of folks. I mean, he didn't get everybody in it, but he got a good bit of people and or entities or teams into it. So it turned out great. You know, as people get to hear it, they'll understand that this is going to be the anthem of the city. This is, you know, this return of the XFL is bigger than football, and people need to understand that this city still has scar tissue, and it gives us the opportunity to kind of grow and create our own fan culture from scratch. You know, I particularly don't like reheated French fries, so I don't think we need to go back and look at, well, what did we do in 2020? Man, that was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So,
all right, and I love that point. Hey, Al, call back. We got 10 minutes. Call back. That was Al call. But listen, okay. I agree with you 100%. I think that, you know, 2020 was 2020.
Different world.
It's just a different world.
Different league.
Different world. Different league. Different network. So I mean, that is
technology too.
You know, exactly. all of that. So it's just a brand new ball game, and I think it's a you have to rebrand and recreate yourself. So you can't approach it the same way that you did before. You know. But that just not going to work. That's not going to cut it. Never have. Never will. You do have to learn how to evolve. So, but anyway, so phone lines open 515-599-1687. Al, if you out there. Al, if you out here, go ahead and make that call. Now, I wouldn't invite Thurman 2 times to call. That's for damn sure. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Alistair was having a little chat with me, and Alistair also runs the St. Louis Football History Facebook page. He keeps up to the date. I also share some news with anything, including this here, on his page for his page followers to also follow the show as well. So it's good to hear from Al. And he actually wrote an article a little while back. Let me see here about St. Louis will always be a football city, and it's a pretty good article. I've read it.
Yeah, and listen, Al definitely is a historian when it comes to the St. Louis Football Cardinals, and now I wouldn't put him in the same category as Bob Underwood, but he does a great job. And on our celebrity line is my man Al. Al, how you doing? Al, you there?
I think I heard it.
Okay, we lost Al, so maybe Al will try his back. But anyway, the phone line is open, 515-599-1687. The In the Zone show live at mycitymymusic.com. Byron Newby, Will Freeman is joining me in studio. We talking about some new things on the horizon with the network. Brand new football show coming up, starting next week. That's football. Gonna be hearing a little bit, some of everything. Pro football, XFL, high school. And Al. Well, now Al's not gonna be part of that show, but he's gonna try to be part of the show.
Call from.
This is Alistair speaking.
Sure, Al.
To accept, press 1. To
Sure.
send a voicemail.
Hello.
Hey, Al, how you doing?
What's up, bro?
Hey, hi. What's up, brothers? How you guys doing? How you doing, Will?
I'm doing pretty good, Al. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just rehabbing my left shoulder. I had a pinched nerve and trying to recover for the last 2 weeks.
That's
Yeah.
age.
I want to ask you this question about the eligibility for the upcoming XFL draft. Will they include some of the players from the United States Football League? And have you heard any discussions about allowing collegiate football players after their second year to be eligible for the XFL draft? If I'm not mistaken, I forgot that player's name, but
Are you talking about
I
Kenny
think
Robinson
after-
a few years back?
yeah, Kenny Robinson, yes.
Yeah, it depends. For the USFL players, there were 2 different contracts that they signed. One that if they did sign with the NFL team, they were free to go after even they got cut. Then there was a second one going through half of the season that it depends on which contract they sign, because that second tier part of the contract is that even if they get cut from the NFL, they still have to go back to the USFL. It just depends on during the time. Some players sign both, some only sign one version, so it'll be hard to figure out. I do know that the player that got cut by the Maulers in the first season, if anyone paid attention to USFL, the one, unfortunately, in my opinion, one of the worst coaches in the USFL, Kirby Wilson for the Maulers.
The pizza guy, right?
Yep. That running back is actually in the draft pool, along with a few others. There's a guy that goes by the XFL analyst who has actually made a draft pool of players that have, not all of them, only ones that declare publicly that they're in. And there's already a few former Valhalla players from 2020, like Taylor Russolino, which is someone I'm still bothered how he, even after that one stint in Denver, is still not signed. And then you got local center Brian Folkers that's in there. And then you got some latest players, like I know just recently we are going to be talking a little bit about the University of Illinois, the wide receiver Tim Lucas, who also had some CFL experience with the BC Lions. And we actually saw him work out while we were at the showcase in St. Louis 3 years back, Palmer. Mm-hmm. So he's in there, and there's also a local kid from Mizzou. And also, don't be surprised that local quarterback Will Glass, who played for Alabama A&M at HBCU school, he actually might be one of the starters for the league in the XFL. I hope it's St. Louis, but let's just say for the Vegas team, his college offensive coordinator is supposedly the offensive coordinator for Ron Woodson, so it would not be surprised he would be on the Vegas team.
All right, Al, anything else you got?
Yes. I do think there's going to be quite a few players who's going to get cut, like the Josh Rosens of the world, and who are going to get a chance to play in the XFL.
Yeah, I agree probably with that. I do know when it comes to salary, the QBs will be paid a lot differently than the others. So it depends on who they can get. All I do know is they are probably going to keep those quarterbacks secret for a bit. And if you paid attention to last week's news, XFL actually signed with Jordan Palmer. That's also Carson Palmer's little brother. And he will actually be working with those quarterbacks from now to then, so we don't have those QB problems. That's kind of sort of what happened with the USFL, and also maybe so we don't have a Matt McGloin problem like we did in 2020. So he will be, and we already know Jordan Palmer's track record with a few QBs that are like stars right now in the NFL, so that helps tremendously.
Yes.
All right, Al.
One other thing before I go, check out my article that I wrote about the at St. Louis being in a football city.
All right, Al. I will give it check it out, and I will definitely let you know what I think about it. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Have a good one.
All right, you too, Al. That's my man, Al. Springfield, Illinois, not Illinois, Missouri. Down 44, them 4-4s, the 4-4. As Tupac say, that 44 make sure that all your kids won't grow. On the End of Zone show, at mycitymymusic.com, Palmer Alexander, a.k.a. the living legend, KIL. One Ella Kill, but Kill Still Kills. Joining me in studio is Will Freeman and Byron Newby. And listen, we just talking post-event, talking a little bit what the End of Zone Network got cracking with this new football show. Let's see. Got a phone call from Al. It's always good to hear from Al.
Do you want to talk like maybe a quick thing of NFL stuff right now before we go?
Why not?
Because
until let's talk
until
we get a call. Yeah,
Call from
ELC.
Yeah. All right. We on the line with Damaris. Damaris, how you doing, brother?
Hey, y'all. What's up in the zone? We're in St. Louis.
What up?
On me.
Hey, y'all. I just wanted to say, I appreciate, your boy coming out to the event, and partaking and seeing a Hawk live. So I just wanted to show some love to y'all. I've been watching the show with Mama, and just show love to the End of Zone fam. We appreciate y'all.
Appreciate the Cook family. The Cook family is definitely a family you want to be on the right side of. If you know what's good for you.
Yes, sir. You know.
Definitely. And listen, tell the people about your show coming up this week.
Yeah, the J&D Funny Show every Wednesday from 6 to 7. We got a rapper coming on this week, but I ain't even trying to, say too much. But next week's show, that's the finale show. Y'all don't want to miss that show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I might have to drop in on that.
Yes, sir.
I might have to drop in on that.
And just in case
I'm
for
about
our first viewers, there's the picture of the show right there that he's talking about right over there.
Yeah.
Hey,
there.
your boys I'm getting some food. We going all out. It's the last show, the finale. Got to show love.
Most definitely. And listen, just keeping it 100. Byron, this is the first show the network ever sponsored. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Just stepping out on faith and everything. So it's been a great experience.
And
yes,
of course,
sir, I appreciate y'all for that. That meant a lot.
Yeah, and of course, Damaris is going to be working with the network a little bit more, getting involved with some more activities with us. So
On me.
you're right.
Yes, sir. I seen that button press too, Palmer. That did make me feel good, man.
I found it. I thought about you. I found it. It's the same color that car reader. That drink is a winner. That drink is a winner. That drink is definitely a winner.
Depending on your tones, you can feel like this.
Well, yeah, that's what that
Who hit
rope
the
do.
boy?
That's what the rope do. But we'll get on that another time. So we got about 13 minutes left. But I did want to ask you, since I got you online, what are your thoughts about the Rams this upcoming season?
The Rams, I think they can run it back, to be honest. Hopefully we find Odell back, because when Odell went down, you saw in the Super Bowl, man, it was either Cooper Kupp or bust, to be honest. But we got Allen Robinson now. I'm kind of excited for him, but I'm really hoping we can get Odell back, because I feel like he added that energy to the team that they probably lacked. A lot of people love Odell.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought he was on his way to MVP in that Super Bowl had he not tore his ACL.
Oh, 100%, 110%.
I'd like to say that Damaris is a very, very brave young man to say we and us in regard to the Rams and still live in St. Louis. So
he the next generation.
Right.
He definitely know the difference. He gets it.
Hey, you remember? I didn't told you, Palmer. I was there seeing Steven Jackson carry us on that 1-15 season. I seen it. I fell in love with him.
That's what it is, man. It be little things like that which makes you fall in love with. Oh, I probably have to hit the table. It's little things like that you promise that makes you fall in love with the team or organization or player. And you think about it, 1-15 season, somebody could find something and attach an emotion towards it, and it grows a love for organization. You know what I'm saying? So just like a love for what we do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So we definitely wrap this show up in a little bit, man. Any final things, man, before you chuck the deuce?
Nothing too much right now. All I'm gonna just say, just stay tuned to about October, and you'll see a lot of growth.
No, I'm already seeing it, but if you saying that now, man, Lord have mercy.
I say give it to November 1st.
Bad. Well, we gonna be there.
Yes, sir.
We gonna be there.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna definitely be there for that last show. You heard it, man. I'm gonna be out there, man. J&D Funny Show. I'm gonna be there in the building. What's up?
Yes.
All right. And that was
all
right, brother. That's Damaris from the J&D Funny Show, right here at mycitymymusic.com. Comes on every Wednesday at 6 p.m., 6 to 7 Central Standard Time. Also coming up at the top of the hour is Talk That Talk. They was also in the building. Well, some of Talk That Talk was in the building at the event at Cafe Piazza. And tell you what, brothers, I enjoyed the show today. We're almost home. We're almost home. And listen, again, I want to take this time, since I do have it now. I do want to thank some people. I want to thank the man across from me. I hit the table, but don't beat me up. I want to thank the man across from me, Byron Newby. He that guy. He gets the job done. He does what he say, what he's gonna do, and he lives by a mantra: let me show you. Will Freeman, again, I appreciate your contributions from day one. Josh Price, my man, from for the last 4 years, he's been riding shotgun and been holding it down. And he wants to do football. Now he's doing football. This is something that he wants to do. He wanted nobody just think that all he does is NBA and stuff like that. I want to thank Tim Eineke, the entire staff at Cafe Piazza, just for giving us a chance, giving me a chance, and now look at how our relationship has grown. I want to kick a big shout out to Justin Kickett and the whole family at My City, My Music, taking us in with open arms and buying in, and it was so dope just seeing some of them out there and enjoying the experience and the networking opportunities. I want to shout out my man Doc. Doc came through. I want to thank the Warburg Sanctuary. I want to thank Roger, Taryn,
Dawn, the CEO.
Dawn,
had some really cool. I had a really cool conversation with her over the week, and they're in, folks. I mean, they're down with this Kaw being the fan mascot. They're now aware that Kaw actually stands for Kicking Ass Weekly, so we got a big kick out of that in the back. And yeah, they've been fantastic. So you're gonna see more stuff with In the Zone Network. We're St. Louis and the World Bird Sanctuary.
And we're just going to continue to grow this thing. I mean, this is what we do. I mean, I love doing this. I love the people who I'm working with. Let's see. I want to thank my man Edwin Grider for coming out for shoot. I want to thank Chef Smith. I want to thank Les Thomas LT. I want to thank the Cook family for all the support. And I want to thank Big Fail. And most important, I want to thank the people out there that's listening. I want to thank you. I appreciate you. Love you from the bottom of my heart. Love you for free. Love you for free. You can't get love anywhere for free, but I'm giving you some love for free. All right? So with that being said, there will be a repeat of the In the Zone show next week. The 99 Problems episode. We're going to run that next week. It's a holiday. I want you to enjoy your holiday. When I come back in studio, have a brand new show. And who knows how much the world will change between now and then. But until then, I look forward to seeing you. We're going city to city, state to state, worldwide. You're listening to In the Zone, and this is the network. Shatorta, you're listening to In the Zone, city to city, state to state, worldwide. I'm doing my own thing. I used to think that I needed to be at ESPN. I used to have to be at all these other places to feel like I belong. But I don't need that shit, man. And I never needed them, to begin with, because I have freedom now. You know what I'm saying? I have freedom, and there's nothing better than being free. You know what I'm saying? Look at these artists right now in the music industry, and you still hear people brag, man, I'm on a label. I mean, fuck being on a label. Should be independent.